May go Van Malone, and welcome back to the NerdTalk podcast. I'm Alex, here always with Vance.
Yellow. Yellow.
Last week we brought you book-to-movie adaptations that sucked. Well, on the flip side, this week we're going to talk about the ones that were freaking awesome.
That rocked.
And it's not just books to movies; it's also books to other media because there are some that don't. Because my first example that I have, it's a book to a TV show. Game of Thrones.
Oh.
I haven't seen seasons 2 through wherever they're at now, 4. Season 2. I've seen all of season 1, and it followed the book pretty closely. I'm reading the book again. And the TV show, you could probably sit down with the book and watch the show, and you'd be reading the script. That's how close it got.
Well,
I think that's cool.
I haven't gotten the chance to watch Game of Thrones, but I have read somewhere that at the rate that they're making the show and how long it's taking the author to put out new books, they're going to reach a point in the show where they've run out of books, and he's still got like 2 or 3 years left before he releases it.
They are almost to that point. If I remember correctly, the show is now going to be at book 4. I know they split up book 3 into 2 seasons. I'm pretty sure season 5, I think, is going to pick up at A Feast for Crows. And they've got A Feast for Crows and A Dance of Dragons left before there's no more books. So that's potentially 2 seasons of material left.
Right.
And George R. Martin needs to pick up his pace because it's a very popular show, and we need more books.
Right.
They're so good. But yeah, that show, I think season 2 was a bit, from what I've heard, it's kind of off the book a little bit. But season 1 followed the book very closely, and I was quite impressed with that.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Game of Thrones. I haven't watched Game of Thrones. I've seen previews. It looks like an awesome show. It really does.
It's fantastic. I love it.
So last week, when the ones that sucked, we talked about The Cat in the Hat. This week, I'm talking about The Grinch. The Grinch, in my opinion, was a beautiful example of how to properly do a live-action Dr. Seuss book.
Yeah.
I think it rocked,
Oh yeah, I would agree.
So
I love the How the Grinch Stole Christmas movie, both the animated one and the live action one.
Yeah.
You can't get a better. Who was it? Who played him? Was it Jim Carrey? Yeah, Jim Carrey. He was pretty good for the role. I like that.
Yeah.
Jury duty, blackmail, jury duty.
Yeah, that was funny. Pink slip, blackmail.
The only line I remember.
I'm gonna watch that tonight.
Only line I remember from that movie. If we had it, I would, because it sounds like it's such a good movie, and we don't have it because we had it on VHS.
I'm gonna die. I'm gonna throw up, and then I'm gonna die. Almost lost my cool there. But that is a beautiful example of how to get it done. And
yeah.
I'm sad because The Cat in the Hat ruined it. It was so bad that she banned any more live-action Dr. Seuss movies.
Yeah.
So.
But I mean, the animated ones, how the
Lorax.
Horton Hears. Oh my God, the Lorax was hilarious. I think I've read the Lorax at one point in my life.
I've read the Lorax. I've never.
Oh my God, the
Lorax!
Lorax.
I've heard it was beautiful.
It's funny. All the pop culture references and stuff. It's so funny. That's why I love animated movies, because they're funnier than a lot of the comedies that come out. But no, Horton Hears a Who, those movies are very good, and it's hard to make a movie out of a Dr. Seuss book because they're like 30 pages long. Right. So the way that they do it is very good. With what they're working with.
Yeah, and yeah, The Grinch rocked. Cat in the Hat sucked. Simple enough. In fact, in my opinion, out of all the Dr. Seuss movies, not including the old animated ones, The Grinch has by far been my favorite so far. And, the Lorax and Cat in the Hat are pretty... Not the Cat in the Hat. The Lorax and Horton Hears a Who are pretty close behind it. But
Hmm. I don't know. I love Horton Hears a Who. That's a funny movie.
that is,
Again, Jim Carrey, good choice.
yeah.
I think it was Jim Carrey.
Who played Horton?
Yeah. Yeah, he played Horton.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yep.
So,
And then Steve Carell was in that movie. Played the mayor.
yeah, I knew that. I knew that. So moving on, I think I need to point out that the first that Harry Potter. Last week we discussed how the last few Harry Potter movies sucked because they didn't follow it all too closely. Don't get us wrong, we thought they were amazing movies. They just didn't
I
follow
still
the
do.
source material very well.
Right. Right.
But this is the podcast about the ones that rocked. So I think, Alex, you think that the first four rocked?
First three.
First three, which is Sorcerer's
First three.
Stone, Chamber of Secrets, and The Prisoner of Azkaban.
And Prisoner of Azkaban's kind of iffy, but I would have to say first three.
Yeah.
I mean, like, don't. Okay. So, like, the series as a whole, all the movies, they're very good, compared to the books. It's decent. But if you ask me 1 through 3, really capture, like, they follow the book almost to the letter. Not exactly, but almost.
And they still managed to really catch the drama and the emotion of the characters throughout all three. And they couldn't have picked a better cast if they had tried.
Oh God, no. Yeah, you're right. Um, like my only main problem, I think, with the Harry Potter movies, at least the first three, is that they don't include Peeves the Poltergeist, and that's
Really?
really it. Have you read the books?
I've I've
Yeah.
read the first one partially.
Well, there's a troublemaking ghost in Hogwarts that just likes to screw with stuff because he can, and he's not in the books at all, not in the movies at all. Like never once do they include him in the movies.
Oh.
And in my opinion, he's important, but he's not like pivotal
Story
important.
breaking.
You know what I mean?
It's not story breaking.
Yeah, right. But he is a pretty important character in the series because he's in every single one of the books. But he's a funny character. I like him a lot.
So yeah, the first three Harry Potters are pretty much the best, in my
Hmm.
opinion. You know, like I said, I really like all of them. The last one has an epic battle, and it's awesome. And they somehow turn Neville Longbottom into from some sort of dork into the hero. But the first three
Neville
are
Longbottom's always been a hero.
he's been a hero to the nerds everywhere.
Yes, it's my
It's like
inspiration.
the poster boy.
Yeah, yeah. No kidding.
But yeah, the first three are
Um,
probably my favorite. I am kind of attached to the Goblet of Fire. I did like the Goblet of Fire. But
oh yeah, it's a good movie, and it's I like the way they progress, both in the movies and in the books. But you can see it better in the movies because you're actually watching it. But they get darker, like literally, they get darker.
yeah,
The first book is just a whimsical tale of adventure, and it's fun. But then you get all the way to number 7, and it's intense.
yeah,
And when I say it literally gets darker, watch the Warner Brothers logo at the beginning of the movie. It
yeah. I never
literally progresses
noticed that.
darker and darker. This for Deathly Hallows Part 2, it's literally rusting and like falling apart, which is fantastic. And I think they did that really well. They captured like sort of the theme to the movie
And
because it
I
does
think,
get dark.
yeah, it does. And I think one of the best parts about this movie series that nobody's really been able to accomplish since then is we actually get to watch the actors grow up along with their
Oh yeah,
characters.
that's the
And
cool thing.
yeah, and that's something I really haven't seen out of any movie series to do successfully since then.
Yeah, and the thing about Harry Potter, not just for me but for a lot of us, is it's our childhood.
Yeah.
And I think when you're watching them grow up, you're watching yourself grow up too,
Yeah.
and it's weird. But it's really weird. It's kind of going off topic, but oh well. It's weird going through the movies, watching all the movies, and then going back and like looking at pictures of the or watching the movies again, and it's like, oh my god, they were just like babies at that point.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. But no, you do get to watch them grow up, and it was a span of about 9, 10 years that we had the movies.
Yeah.
So
That they kept pumping them out, and it was beautiful because they pumped them out at such a consistent pace that
yeah,
you had time to really appreciate and cherish and buy the DVD for the last movie before the new one came out, and then you could do it all over again.
what I think is really funny though is when I kind of noticed this. There's a pattern. Whenever a Harry Potter movie came out, there's a book coming out too, because the year that the Deathly Hallows was released and the book, the Order of the Phoenix movie had come out, and I thought that was just the funniest thing that they like. It was like you got a book and you got a movie, even though the movie was a little bit
That's the
before the book.
previous book. Or not the
Right.
previous
Well,
book.
one of the previous books.
Yeah. It was two books.
Yeah, because after Deathly Hallows came out, there were no more books, so the movies just had to catch up, and then the series was over. Still the saddest day of my life when I saw Deathly Hallows Part 2 in theaters. Oh, that was sad.
Because it was epic, but he was just sad because his childhood was over.
It was over.
Okay.
I watched it and I literally cried. But anyway,
We are getting way off topic.
I do have another book to movie adaptation that we can talk about, even though, I mean, we can still do it. Hunger Games. Both of them,
Ooh,
actually.
yes. We're not even going to talk
Those-
about Mockingjay, A, because the book sucked, and B, because it hasn't come out yet.
The movie's not even out yet.
Yeah.
And I have major issues with the movie already.
But in my opinion, the book really wasn't all that good. The book.
I don't remember anything. I remember like one thing from the whole book.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah.
And
It's
it's
the
most important. Well, actually, no, I remember two things. And it's most
okay. I remember two things technically. I just remember the end,
Yeah,
like kind of the whole ending bit. But yeah, But that aside, for right now, Catching Fire, like the Hunger Games and Catching Fire, were very
beautifully
close. To the
done.
book. Yeah. Oh yeah.
And Jennifer
Amazing.
Lawrence, what is the perfect actress to do it? She has what I like to call an elastic emotional scale, where you tell her how you want her to act, and she can do it. Tell her you want her to be so angry, she's screaming, she can do it. So I don't think I could have found a better actor for her, for Katniss Everdeen.
I can agree with you on the whole acting wise. Bit she really portrayed Katniss beautifully, if you ask me. But I think, in appearance wise, she could have changed. They could have used a different actress. In the books, Katniss is a little darker. Like she has an olive complexion. I think of her as what is that chick in the Last Airbender? Is it Katara? Is that her name?
Yeah.
Yeah, Katara. I think of I think of a live action version of Katara when I read the books. 'Cause that's what I think the Katniss
That's a good one.
looks like.
Never heard that. You make a really good point.
Yeah, so that's who I envision Katniss to be, even though Jennifer Lawrence, now kind of takes, image in my mind whenever I read the books. I just think of the Jennifer Lawrence Katniss.
Yeah.
But yeah, should be Katara. Should be a human version of Katara.
Yeah. So, the first off, I want to talk about the CGI. That whole huge fireball scene in the first one
Mhm.
was beautifully done.
Yeah.
Now, it never ceases to amaze me though, because that scene where they're on the chariots riding through the Capitol, they spent all their money on that on the fireball scene. They ran out of money for the fire suit outfit scene.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, the fire in that looked awful.
Well, I think it's kind of supposed to, because it's not real fire. It's synthetic kind of fire.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
it should look fake, but it also at the same time should look a little real, which it kind of did. It did the
Now in the
balance of
second movie, they
really
did
fake,
that
but
same
yet
exact.
realistic.
In the second movie, they did pretty much the same thing, and they
Hmm.
upgraded the fire animation, but it's still not there. That's just me.
Yeah,
So, um, trying to think of other movies. Can you think of anything?
I do have a couple more. Yeah, of course.
All right.
Um, this one it'll be weird for me to explain, but it'll make sense because it's weird. But anyway, um, the BBC's Sherlock. You ever
Ooh.
watched it, or I know you probably heard of it?
I've heard of it. I've heard
You
it's
ever
a
you ever
really.
watched Sherlock?
I've heard it's a really good show. I
If
have
if you
not gotten the chance to watch it.
you have
I have.
Netflix,
I do have
if you have
Netflix.
Netflix, it's well, all 3 seasons are on Netflix, so get on that.
Oh
But
my god.
you don't have to. I don't know if season 3 is. I bet it would be. I think it is. It's been out for like a year now. Anyway, you don't even have to be a fan of the books to enjoy Sherlock. That's the cool thing that they did with it. It's a modern. For those of you who don't know what Sherlock is, first of all, are you living under a rock? Second of all, if you don't know what it is, Sherlock is a modern retelling of Arthur Conan Doyle's Sherlock Holmes. It stars Benedict Cumberbatch and Martin Freeman as Sherlock and John, respectively. And without a doubt, I think, and this is the weird thing, Vance, you're gonna this will take you by surprise. I think I like it more than Doctor Who.
No, you're
I
not allowed to. No.
well, for okay, but
Alex,
to be fair,
everything you've told us, everything I know about you. No. You cannot change
to
it
be
up
fair,
right now.
to be fair, Sherlock is made by the same people that did Doctor Who, or at least are currently doing Doctor Who. Stephen Moffat and Mark Gatiss. They both work on Doctor Who and Sherlock. So I like them like both a lot, but I honestly think that Sherlock may be a little bit cooler just because it's so freaking epic. Um,
And when you think about it,
it's
Doctor Who, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt on this. Doctor Who is going off on a much, much darker path.
and not to mention the fact that Doctor Who, in my opinion, is no longer quote unquote original. It's been going on for 50 years now, and Sherlock, while it is based on a source material, is very original. Sherlock Holmes in the 21st century. How would the great sleuth, you know, navigate this world? And it's not like it's not like he was brought from the 1800s to, you know, 2014. He was born, you know, sometime probably in the 70s or whenever. I don't know his exact birth date, but it is literally a modern retelling of Sherlock Holmes. And while it's still modern, there are a lot of echoes to the books, and I think that's really cool. They do a lot of nods to the original stories. You have to be like really, really, really into the books to get them, but they do a nice balance of Victorian era slash modern. Kind of
Right.
keep it fresh. It's fantastic. Oh my god, I love Sherlock. I actually own all 3 seasons on DVD, and now I really just want to watch them again because I love the show so
Right. And
much. Um,
so, all right, Alex, you're not gonna like me for bringing this one up. The Maze Runner. I've read the book and I watched the movie.
ooh,
It's
oh,
an
cool.
amazing adaptation. I read the book first. This is the first time I've really done that. I read the book first, then I watched the movie. It's a really good adaptation. You could tell that they had a really good budget to work with. Um,
Hmm.
the CGI was fantastic. The maze looked beautiful. They got great actors to perform a wonderful script. Overall, it was just a really good adaptation. So you
You
need to
did
hurry up
like
and
it?
read. What?
You did like it? It was
Oh,
it
I,
was a good
I
movie.
loved it. I loved the movie.
Cool. I
You
think
need
I
to
made
hurry up
this
and
the
read the.
recommendation to
You need to
read the
hurry
book.
up and read the
Dude,
book.
I have a list of books that I need to read that's like 3.5 shelves long, literally.
Okay.
I have so many books that I need to get through, but Maze Runner is on that list, and
You need to bump that
I've
Maze Runner
gotten a
up
lot
to
of
the top.
recommendations. Maybe I will. But no, it's. I've heard it's very good, and I may just take that recommendation alone and read the book and see the movie, because yeah, you've convinced me.
It was just
Um,
it was a beautiful, well done overall. So
that's good. I mean, the thing is, whenever I saw like the trailer for the Maze Runner, I couldn't help but think of the fourth Harry Potter book with the maze. You know what I'm talking
yeah.
about? That's all I can think about when I hear the Maze Runner. I feel like, watching that movie, reading the book, I'm gonna expect Voldemort to pop out at the end. I don't know.
Yeah. No, there's no
But no, I
Voldemort.
will check it out. I will check it out. It does sound like a good novel slash movie.
Yeah.
Um, ooh, I got one. I really got one. The Fault in Our Stars.
I have not read
Did
nor
you
watched it. I hear
have not read or watched the movie?
I know who the author is. I know that it's a really good book. I haven't read the book. I haven't watched the movie, and I don't intend to. Doesn't it just doesn't
Really?
seem like it doesn't seem like my kind of book.
You know, are you afraid of the whole romance kind of thing? Is that what's kind of turning you off?
No, 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 it's not that. It doesn't seem my. It's not the romance, not at all. It's just
Right. Well, I'm not going to push it on. Like, I'm not trying to push it on you. I'm just trying to figure out what's making you not want to read it. Because there are people that were like, I don't want to read it because it's a chick flick or it's a book written for girls. When
no, that's not it at
honestly,
all. I understand it's
it's
a really good book and a really good movie.
yeah,
It
yeah.
doesn't seem like my type of book.
No, it's your opinion is your opinion. I'm totally okay with that.
I know who
But
the author is, and he's
it's
a wonderful guy. He's got a great
yeah, no,
YouTube show going on. He's awesome.
no, yeah. My sister actually doesn't really like to read much, but she read The Fault in Our Stars, and we saw the movie opening day.
Yeah, of course.
Um, it's a good book for those who haven't read it. It's a good movie for those who've read the book but haven't seen it. I think it followed the book very closely.
Now,
Like I don't think.
for those of you who don't know, Alex is a huge John Green fan.
Oh yeah, huge John Green fan, huge reader. Yeah, I love John Green. He's actually one of the reasons that I do YouTube stuff. Really, because
In
yeah.
fact, didn't you write him a letter and he actually responded?
But no, that's a different guy.
Oh.
That's the guy that wrote Aragon. Um,
I think he sent a letter to what was his name, the Vlogbrothers.
no, I've never sent a letter to them.
Oh no,
I've never done.
you guys started doing fetch and scrap because of the Vlogbrothers.
Yeah, which ended like 3 years ago, four
Yeah.
years ago. Yeah,
Why
that
did you
ended.
guys
That
stop
died.
doing that?
Oh my god. But
I was
just
you
timing.
was
We never.
yeah. Anyways,
Yeah, we
back
never
on
had the.
topic.
Just never got around to it. Okay, but no. So, Fault in Our Stars. Like I said about the Harry Potter or whatever book I was talking about, you could literally take in the book to the movie, and you could read the book along to the movie. I feel like there were, like there are with all book to movie adaptations, there were very very small um, changes that if you only read the book like once, you wouldn't notice. And just like a few, like maybe there were like one or two lines here or there that weren't in the movie. There was a character that was not in the movie at all, but it didn't hinder the movie. Like that, the character wasn't that important to the book, so there was no need to have her in the movie. Um, the ending was just slightly different, and that's only because of one line.
Okay.
I It was a good movie, and it was a good book to adaptation movie. And honestly, I'm just so proud of John Green that he finally got that recognition and that book was made into a movie, even though it's not the one that should have been made into a movie first. But
Wait, what?
regardless,
What movie do you think? What book do you think should have been made a movie?
I think the book that he had first published called Looking for Alaska, and it's going to be in a couple of years. They're if you ask me, they're doing his books into movies all wrong. They're like they took The Fault in Our Stars, which is arguably his most famous book, because everyone has pretty much read it. I don't think I've met a single person, like aside from you, who has not read the book. Um, Even like if you're not familiar, I don't know if you're familiar with his YouTube channel, but
Mental
the
floss?
following. No, the Vlog Brothers.
Oh,
They
yeah.
have like this following that they call themselves the Nerd Fighters. I'm one. John's one. Um, a lot of the nerd. It's because of the Nerd Fighter group that The Fault in Our Stars really got pushed out into the mainstream readers. I've met people that have never heard of the Vlog Brothers, read his book. I'm like, oh my God, you like John Green too? You ever watch his videos on YouTube? And they're like, he has videos on YouTube? Like, yeah, he's had them since 2007. But it's cool to see, his outreach. And, it's cool to see how widespread Fault in Our Stars has become. And I think that, and I understand that why they made that movie, first instead of all the others, because the others aren't quite as popular. But now they're making one. I think the most recent one to come out next year or the year after. Pretty sure it's next year. It's called Paper Towns, and that's kind of one of his least. I'm not trying to say it's like not good, but it's like it's not as well known.
Right.
And they're making that into a movie, which I'm pretty excited for because that was a good book.
Right.
But I really think that they should have done Looking for Alaska first because that was his first. That was his first book, and it was so good. But rant over. And now to figure out others.
Well, I'm actually going to have to cut you off here because we're running out of time. So if you...
Dang,
What?
Oh my... I had more. Holy crap.
Well,
all right.
we can do a part 2 later on. Maybe if you're a good boy, we can do a part 2 later on. Down. No. Not on the carpet. Bad boy.
Oh, man.
Anyways, so if you beautiful nerds out there have any book-to-movie adaptations that you think rock, leave them in the comments below. And signing off my friend Alex, stay nerdy, my friends.
They see me mowing my front lawn. I know they're all thinking I'm so white and nerdy. Think I'm just too white and nerdy. Think I'm just too white and nerdy. Can't you see I'm white and nerdy? Look at me, I'm white and nerdy. I want